Okay. All right, so the mental math for today is just comparing fractions. So I did a reteach lesson on that yesterday. So I will repost that in case somebody still needs a little help, and that should get you through it. The math message, you really have to kind of do it with me today. So you got to kind of print out the document that I made for you and just have that with you. If you can't print it out, just you can open two windows maybe and watch the video or pause the video, then go back to the paper, whatever works. Okay. So our objective for today is we're going to try to determine that a fraction is a multiple of a unit fraction. All right, so this looks really crazy. We did it about a month ago. We introduced this idea. We said that AB, so fraction A over B, so which means A could be any number, B could be any number. So AB could be 1/5. It could be 3/5. It doesn't matter. But that's the same thing as saying that the whole number A can be multiplied by a unit fraction. And if you remember from the other day, we talked about unit fractions again. Unit fraction means you have to have 1 as the numerator. Okay? So if I were going to take 3/4, and this should be on your math message paper, it will say 3/4 and then it says addition, multiplication. I just wrote A and M because I have limited space here. So for addition, we're going to do decomposing again. We're going to decompose it into unit fractions. So I would do, this is just a review, 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4, and that would equal 3/4. If I did multiplication for this, I'm going to say, okay, well, what is my whole number? How many fourths did I have? 3. So that's my whole number, and I times it by the unit fraction, and that will also equal 3/4. So if you want, you can pause the video and try the next two on your own. I'm going to go ahead and just do them now so you can see if you have the right answer, but try it on your own. So addition, again, decompose into unit fractions. 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5, and it equals 4/5. Okay, so what would be my whole number for this one? I'm going to look at my numerator for that answer. 4 times 1/5, because I'm taking 1/5 and I'm doing it 4 times. So that equals 4/5. 8/9. Ooh, this one's going to take me a while. Let's see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, running out of room there. So that one takes a long time. I would much rather write it as multiplication. So how many ninths am I doing? 8. So I'm showing it as 8 times 1/9 for my final answer. As you can see, multiplying is a little bit quicker. So the idea of this is now we want to say, so 8/9 is the 8th multiple of 1/9, because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It would be in the 8th spot. Because remember, when we do multiples, we're skip counting by a given number. So in this case, we're skip counting by ninths. So we end up with 8/9. So I'm showing that over here. 3 times a third, we know, equals 3/3. So 3/3 is the third multiple of 1/3. So again, if you want, try to pause the video and see if you can solve these next 3 problems on your paper. 4 times a third, 5 times a third, 6 times a third. So remember, we're just multiplying the whole number by the numerator, denominator staying the same. Figure out if you can figure what multiple it is of this given fraction. Wait a second. Okay, so if we did this, 4 times 1 gave us 4/3. We had 5/3, and we had 6/3. So we would say 4/3 is the 4th multiple of 1/3. 5/3 is the 5th multiple. And 6/3 is going to be, hopefully, the 6th multiple. All right. Okay, so down here, we're just going to give it a little practice here. What would I write? 3 times 1/4 equals 3/4. 7 times 1/8, 7/8. times 1/6 is 9 times 1. And if I were writing those as addition, I would be writing it all as unit fractions. Now, before we go on to the word problem examples, hold on, I forgot my eraser. Another way you could look at these fractions, multiples, excuse me, it could be presented to you like this. Let's start off easy, sorry. That was an awful noise. If I gave you this picture, what would you do to write an addition problem? So I'm looking, this is worth what? 1/4. This is 1/4. So to do an addition problem, I would say 1/4 plus 1/4 equals 2/4. If I was showing as multiplication, I would say 1/4 times 2 equals 2/4. Now the last question is, what is the 2/4 is the second multiple of 1/4. So if you were given a sentence that looked like this, 2/3, keep it unit fraction, 1/3 times 5, or shown 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3. And they said, okay, now you have to draw a picture. What would you do? I would start with a whole, and I would show this is going to be divided into thirds. So it's kind of like that peace symbol. So there's my 1/3. Here's my next 1/3. 3, 4, sorry, a little messy, and 5. Okay? That's another thing to think of. And I think, let me just check my notes. I think that's everything we wanted to go over. Yeah, I think we're good. Oh, there is one other thing. Sometimes they might show it as a number line. So they're just going to show it to you that way too. So they might show 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5. So say they show this, and they're like 1/5, 1/5, 1/5. Well, I guess I should start at 0/5. So, all right. If they showed you a picture that looked like this, and they're asking you write an addition sentence, you're going to just show 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5 equals 4/5. And again, multiplication, 1, 2, 3, 4. I did 1, 2, 3, 4. All makes sense. 4 wholes times 1/5. I think that about covers it. So we're going to just look at a word problem, and then you should be good to go to do the second word problem and the 2 math journal pages that are on Everyday Math, okay? So here's the first problem. If Kate wants to give a snack consisting of, of half an orange to each of the 6 girls in her Girl Scout troop, how many oranges does she need? So what do we know? Oh, sorry, I just lost my connection here. Checking messages as they come in. Okay, number of scouts. We know that. What else do we know? Okay, we're just organizing our data. We know the oranges per scout. And how many in all? So this is what we know. We know there's 6 scouts. We know that each one should have 1/2 of an orange. This is what we need to figure out. So if I was writing an equation with the unknown, I'm going to show 6 times 1/2 equals m, Or you could write out the addition, but I think we can all agree that this way is going to get you there a lot quicker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So at the end, hopefully you end up with the correct answer, which is 6 halves. So how many actual oranges is that? If you have to draw a picture to get the answer, that's fine. We can just show it like this. Here's 1 half, 2 halves, 3 halves, 4 halves, 5 halves, 6 halves. So how many oranges do I end up with? 3. You can also do a division problem. 6, you take the numerator and divide it by the denominator. So what is 6 divided by 2? That's a basic math fact. The answer is 30. All right, I know it's a lot of information, but you have it on video. You can rewatch it, pause it, whatever you need to do. Yesterday's Zoom conference was cool. It was nice to see everybody's faces. Everybody looked happy. So we'll do that again today. All right, bye guys.